Hi everyone, you join me from the post. It is the bank holiday Monday. Lovely, lovely sunny day. It's bright and early. It's supposed to be one of the warmest days on record, so they say. All in all, once it happens, I think it's not going to be as warm here. I think it's 24, 25 degrees. Apparently it's supposed to be here today. So come here nice and early. I want to get some grass cut and I want to get that done before it gets too warm. And I also need to do some work on this. Let me see if I can get a light here. Where's my light? It is there. So yeah, when I was at the post last week, the wiring broke off on this. So I need to fix that. And you can see there's the little pigtail adapter there, and all the wiring came off. It actually broke here. So I brought a battery with me and screwdrivers and various bits and pieces just to get all this back up and running again, and then we're going to test it just to make sure it is working. So I've got the MP3 players running and everything there in the battery box, so we'll get that done, and then I'll show you the system I have that can work off remote control. I don't know if I've actually ever showed it in camera before, but I have a little remote control that can do all the warning tones and what have you. So once I get this all sort of redone, I'll be back and we will take a quick look at that. So back in a second. Right, that is that rewired again. There was a lot of oxidization on the wiring. So I've had to actually strip it back a little bit more just to get to nice fresh metal. And so it's not copper or anything, unfortunately. It's pretty cheap wiring for this. So at some point I might need to resolder some decent cable onto this, but it's all rewired, and there's the battery connector. So when I tested this the other day, the audio was really low on this, like properly low. You could barely hear it. I thought there was a bad connection, so I started to try to get this to be better, and it just snapped off. So I assumed that was the issue. Now when I brought this battery home, I realized that this was only 4 volts. So I think that was what was causing the issue, as well as this dodgy wiring. So that's been recharged up, and all this does, this provides power to the amplifier circuit in this, the speaker, and then in the battery box, then we have this little MP3 player, and that's 12 volt, and that's getting its power then from the battery. So if I hook up this battery up now, we should be getting the confidence tick on this, which is coming then from that MP3 player. So I'll put you down here. Okay, that is that connected up, and then if we press the button, okay, happy days. So that is now working. So it's working the way it should work. And I'll turn it down for the next bit. So that's called the confidence tick. If you've ever watched one of these videos before, you'll know that the noise there is called the confidence tick. That is to let you know that the system is working. And the old style system, the WB400 system, would beep all the time. You couldn't silent it unless you turned it down or turned it off. So it would beep. So when they brought out the WB1400 system and the WB1401, that this is the metal version. The WB1400 is the plastic speaker. With this, you had a test button, so you could push to hear the tone. And then if there ever was a nuclear attack, what they would do is the warning tone that would come out would actually have a set of tones that would break this up. And then it would set off an internal amplifier, which would increase the volume, which I'll show you now. So what I've done is I got a friend of mine to make me a little MP3 player. And it literally runs the confidence tick as just a continuous file. So it's just an audio file that just runs continuously. And then with an SD card in that, I have other warning tones programmed into it. So I have the test tone, I have the fallout warning tone on it, and then I have the attack warning. So with this little remote control, so when we're having open days, we sort of usually stand over here, and we're talking through our demonstration, and as we get to the part where we're talking about the fallout warning or the attack warning, we just press this button.
Attack warning red. Attack warning red. Attack warning red.
So I recorded all of these using all the original tones we were able to digitize all the original warning tones. So I've been able to get them and just make our own tones. So quite a lot of posts all around the country has my voice coming out of their speaker. A lot of the museums, some of them have done them themselves, but I did them about 8 or 9 years ago, and quite a lot of people just used them because it was easy. But that uses all the proper tones. So when I press that button, that is playing the exact tone that would have come from the carrier control point that activates the internal circuitry that makes all that come out of the speaker. So I think we've got, what else have we got? I think we've got fallout warning. That might be D. Hold on. No, that just plays a tone to make that come on. Wait for that to go quiet again. Yeah, but that's all wired up properly. I mean, it's still all wired up on the surface as well, so I can bring the carrier control point down and connect it up that as well. But what I thought was handy, bringing the carrier control point to every open day, it was pretty difficult. So I had this system, and I just thought, no, I'll put this system back in, and it'll work in between when I'm not bringing the carrier control point here. And it is a great system, and it works really, really well. Right, let's try the C button.
Fallout warning black. Belfast 45, 46, 47. Belfast 45, 46, 47. Belfast 45, 46, 47.
So that means that there's fallout approaching in these areas here and these areas here. So that was our cluster. So we've got Dungannon, we've got ourselves, we've got Armagh, and we've got Banbridge, and we're in a cluster. So you can see this is 43 warning district. So 43 warning district has been told that there's fallout approaching this area. So that's what that message meant. So yeah, that works. That's really, really cool. And I don't think I've ever changed the battery of this, and it's still running, which is pretty cool. So that just hangs up on this little microphone clip here for Colin when he needs it, when he's doing his talks. And then what I've also done is a little Ruby tag that measures the humidity and the temperature down here. That was, the battery was flat in that, so I brought that home to change it. So in fact what I'll do is I'll do a little temperature test and humidity test, and I'll put it up on the screen here for you to see. And yeah, I bought more tools from Wera. I bought this awesome little screwdriver set, little sort of electronic set, little tiny little screwdriver. Look at that. And then you've got a little the cap turns, so when you're doing something small you can put it in your hand, and then when you're turning it you're not wearing out your middle. I mean, you can probably see there where my screwdriver, this is my screwdriver hand. You can see my sort of wear away the skin there. Yeah, I'm buying a lot of little cool little tools at the moment. And I noticed that when I had this issue yesterday, I didn't have any tools to fix it. So I'm going to have to keep a little toolkit down here, or put a little small toolkit together of things like wire cutters and crimps, and little screwdriver set like this. Not a Wera one, probably. I'll get a cheaper one, but something like that. I've had this down here for years, and you can see all the bits have gone missing, and who knows where they are. And probably a multimeter, things like that. They're just little handy things to have, just in case I have an issue like this again. But other than that, the post is fine. I think we were only here, you were here with me a couple of weeks ago. So I've put the modem back in. So the modem's back in, and that is all working fine. So the Teletalk system is all working fine. I had the solar panel with me yesterday. The battery is fully charged, which is great. So I'm just going to leave that battery here now, and just every time I come, just bring the solar panel for 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm usually here for about an hour and a half. And just connect the solar panel up, give the battery a quick blast. I noticed a little bit of rust on this, so I will probably bring that home with me today and get that cleaned up, and probably I'll clean it, all the rust off it, and just seal it with some varnish, clear varnish metal, and that'll stop that from getting any worse. Everything else is fine. No other rust that I can see. No mold, which is good. It's always good to come down here and see no mold. It's reasonably cold, but it doesn't feel damp, which is nice. But other than that, everything is perfect. And obviously all the lights are working fine and everything's working great off the charge controller. What I used to find with the old charge controller, which actually still is in there, you can see the old charge controller is still in there, because this box was, you know, practically falling to bits at the time, so I didn't want to risk taking that off and the whole thing just collapsing, because I remember when I put it on, you could just hear it cracking and creaking, so I just thought better just to leave it. But the old charge controller, as the voltage changed on the solar panel, the lights would actually get brighter and dimmer and things like that there. But with the Victron charge controller, everything's just rock solid, stable voltage, which is awesome. So I'm glad I spent the money and got a proper, you know, decent, you know, named brand charge controller. I'm going to run the post at some point of my new EcoFlow system, using, you know, plugging it in on the Surface and then running the plugs down here. I really want to see if it runs the radiator. You know, that's something that I'm going to actually lock the focus here, if you don't mind. Yeah, that's better. Is that? No. One press. I've no idea how to lock focus in this, sorry. Very, very sorry if it keeps going in and out of focus. But I point a lot. Yeah, I want to see if it runs the radiator. And that's something I'm very interested in seeing. Not that I've stayed down here for a considerable time, but I do want to. And being able to run that radiator, not having the generator, that's the big thing. If I don't have to bring my generator with me, I can just bring the Delta either down here or leave it on the Surface and just have it all night. Just, you know, not that I need to run the radiator all night. I could probably bring the generator, run the radiator off the generator for like an hour or two, and then before I go to bed, you know, turn the generator off 8 or 9 o'clock, and then come down here and then supplemental heat with the Delta, which I think would actually work really, really well, and just, you know, keep it down to about 700 watts, something like that. But yeah, everything else is perfect. And just a very quick short video today. This was the main thing, getting this working again. And that's cool the way it just has the confidence tick. That was something that just dawned on me at one point with this little MP3 player. What's cool about it is you can have it set up that it'll play tracks. You can either press those buttons there, or you can do it off the remote control trigger, and then it gives you one track which is just looped, and it just loops and loops and loops and loops and loops. So that's about a 5 minute, I think 5-6 minute confidence tick. And what we used to do was, in between that, we would have the warning tone, so it would play it automatically. And then it occurred to me, well, no, because I mean, it could happen when you're right in the middle of talking to something else, and then you would have to segue from that to talking about the attack warning. So what we thought was, no, it's better to have the confidence tick on a loop, and then you can trigger the attack warning whenever you feel like it. And then that's why having that remote control made it so handy. So we've got a unit there. You can see it's masking taped. That unit there is what is turning the MP3 tones into the correct frequency and tones to play through the speaker, so that the WB1401 recognizes it. And then if I press that red there,
Attack warning red. Attack warning red. Attack warning red.
yeah, so pretty cool. And I actually have one more of these, I think. I've either got one more, I've got two more. I know I have a bare board, and I think I have one in a box. So if somebody does have one of these original systems, you can actually get that working again with one of those boxes. So if somebody does have this system and they have a post or they have a museum display and they're interested in doing that, drop me a comment and we can sort out a price. It's not, don't worry, it's not going to be an arm and a leg, but we only made a certain amount of these. And when I say we, I mean Mike over in Scotland made a certain amount of them. I don't know if he still has any left, but they are pretty awesome that you can get this system working again. So all you will need to do is that box, 12 volt power supply for that box, run a cable from it up into the filter unit, which then in turn runs into here. You need a battery for this. You're best using a NIM battery, and put it in there. And again, you can 12-volt battery, and that'll get all this system working again, which is pretty cool. So that's that. Right, folks, listen, hope you're all having a good, well, it's going to be Friday now when you're watching this, so have a good weekend, and I'll try to enjoy this weather on this glorious bank holiday Monday. But listen, as always, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all again next time. Bye bye.